Greetings, my people. How you doing? How you doing, brothers and sisters? Arsenal futurites to the world, as we say. How you all doing? Hope you're all right. I'm sure that you're all still celebrating and you still got that sense of euphoria after that big, epic 4-1 win for the boys in red. 4-1 against the boys in white. As they say, North London is red, London is red. I mean, I'm so happy about that win, but we've got a big game to focus on tonight, and which I'll do the preview of the Bayern Munich game in the Champions League a little bit later on. But we want to do this game first. Since we played Spurs first, we get this one, do this one, and then we come back and do the follow up, the Bayern Munich game. I mean, where do we start? I mean, it's just such a beautiful win. I mean, Spurs never really put up any challenge. We steamrolled them, and in fairness, we could have scored more goals. Declan Rice missed a chance early on after being put through skillfully by Eze himself. Just chipped the ball forward, and he missed. And then Eze could have scored a fourth goal after his hat trick. But let's take you stage by stage. We scored our first goal in about 34 minutes of Leandro Trossard, who's playing well this season. Usually Trossard they say he's one of the best 12th men in the Premier League and possibly in Europe, because the amount of goals he scores when he comes off the bench is alarming, and the amount of positive contributions he makes to our game after coming off the bench is absolutely astounding. And I think he's playing his best football since he's been at Arsenal. I thought that first season we got him in the January window, he played well the rest of that season. But for me, this here now, what we've seen here now, is his best for me. His best run of form since he's been at Arsenal. And the things as well, the criticism we used to throw at Trossard was that he's only good coming off the bench, but now he's starting. He's actually playing well from the start and scoring and contributing. And he's got a very, very good record against Spurs. I wasn't aware of it. I think the only other team he scored mostly against is Liverpool. After Liverpool, it's Spurs who scored most goals against. But I'm so happy. And that got us off on the 34th minute. And then not long after that, just before half time, we scored again. This time Eze, the player who almost joined Spurs, is not forgetting the summer. He almost went to Spurs. Spurs were monitoring him and they were looking to sign him. But as a long-time Arsenal fan, and of course he was Arsenal as a kid, and Arsenal released him, I think he was 13 years old, because Arsenal didn't deem him good enough. And he was too small and too frail. And so he went to so many other clubs and ended up at QPR, where he more or less started out properly at QPR. I remember friends of mine said that, look out for that kid called Eze. Eberici Eze, plays for QPR. And this was about a good, I would say good 7-8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. At the time, let me see. It would have been about maybe 18 at the time. Yeah, 18, maybe 19, something like that. But I'm so happy that we've got him, and he scored his first goal in the North London derby. It's his debut in North London derby as well. He's never played in the North London derby before. And then he scored, and then second half came, edge of the box, he was found, buries it for 2-0. My favourite goal of his was that goal, that second goal, because it was the way he just placed it. I mean, the keeper stretched out, Vicario stretched out, but he just couldn't get near the ball, and it just creeped in. It's so exquisite the way he did it. 3-0 Arsenal. Then we got into a bit of a self-destruct situation where it's gone plain sailing for us. Spurs not really bothering us that much. And then we took our eyes a little bit off the ball. And that's one of the criticism I must hurl at this Arsenal team sometimes, that when they can get a bit complacent. I hope it doesn't creep back into our game again, because that's what plagued us for the last 2 or 3 seasons. And one of the reasons why we didn't win the Premier League, because we got a bit complacent and we can't do it. We take our foot off the pedal too much. We're going to keep going. And if we do that against Bayern Munich, we're going to be in trouble, because Bayern Munich are 100 times better than Spurs. But anyway, they score from a lob from, I call him Mr. Misery Guts. And that is Richarlison, because he's always miserable. He never smiles that much. So I call him Mr. Misery Guts. Mr. Misery Guts scored a consolation for Spurs, from about 50 yards out after Zubimendi lost the ball. And there was no power in the challenge. He just lost the ball. And then, Mr. Misery Guts took advantage of it and just lobbed David Raya from about 50 yards line. David Raya is always off his line. And that's a big criticism that a lot of us Arsenal fans have of him. But there's some Arsenal fans who I speak to, they say that the reason why David Raya is off his line a lot is because of Mikel Arteta's instructions. Because he instructs him, because we play ball to feet and we play, when it goes back to the goalkeeper, so for example, when it goes back to David Raya, he's going to put the ball upfield like David Seaman used to do. The football has changed now. And then most keepers do this. Most keepers are what we call sweeper keepers. And I think the best example of that in these modern times is probably a guy we're going to face later on tonight. He was in goal for Bayern Munich, one of the best keepers of his generation. That's Manuel Neuer. I think he's one of the first goalkeepers I saw playing that type of sweeper ball. And so when he gets passed back to David Raya, he plays it out and he comes out of his box. He sometimes plays with the centre halves, like Gabriel, Saliba, and then they play like a triangle. And then even sometimes we try to evade the press from the opposition. Because, when you're playing the ball out at the back, we're going to get pressed. And and then he's very good at playing the ball because he played, I believe David Raya said he played outfield when he was a youngster. And so he's used to playing with the ball at his feet. Well, he's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good shot stopper. And he's been excellent these last couple of seasons. But the one mistake he makes is when he comes off his line too much. And as I said, they said because Mikel Arteta told him, because we play possession football at the back, we pass back and so on, he's always get caught off his line. And because we're always attacking as well, he's not really inclined to sort of stay back because we're not getting attacked as much. So because of that, he's got the freedom to come out of his goal, come off his goal line, and play further forward up. And so occasionally, surprisingly, when somebody sees him off his line, oh, David Raya's off his line, let me try a shot. Because remember a couple of seasons ago, I think he played against Sporting Lisbon, and that was in the old Europa League before we got back into the Champions League. And that guy scored, I can't remember his name, he scored a wonderful lob against us for Sporting Lisbon a couple of years ago at the Emirates. Because David Raya was off his line. And also last season, Mateta did it for Crystal Palace. He lobbed him, after there was a bit of a melee in our box and we didn't clear the ball properly, and then he lobs David Raya. But this was a bit nearer out. This was maybe from about 40 yards out. So it was a bit more nearer to goal than the goal we conceded against Spurs on Sunday. Regardless of Mr. Misery Guts. And so, but anyway, we soon recovered. That didn't hold us back. We came forward for a little period in that second half. Spurs were trying, but they only seemed to try when we were 4-1 up. And of course, there's that goal we go to now when Eze scores or completes his hat trick after a good succession of play around the Spurs box. It comes into him. He's at the edge of the box. He kind of like dummies the ball and evades the challenge from Ndogby, and then he stops the ball into the net. I mean, Vicario, not a bad goalkeeper in my opinion, but he couldn't get nowhere near that. And that's 4-1 to Arsenal. And nobody scored a hat trick in the North London derby. I believe it's for both teams, not for just one team. But I was told, but nobody scored a hat trick in the North London derby since 1978, and that was Arsenal's very own legend, Alan Sunderland. Maybe most of you watching it, you might not remember Alan Sunderland. He played. He had a bushy hair. He had bushy hair. He had a moustache. He had a beard. A typical 70s football player, a typical 70s stroke early 80s football player with that big afro. Yeah, he wasn't a black guy. He's a white guy, but he had a big afro, and he had moustache, thick moustache, beard, and he was. I don't believe he wasn't that tall, but he was stocky. He might have been about 5'6", but he was very, very stocky. Alan Sunderland played for England as well. Very, very good player, and he played for us sort of time when we weren't really winning majors. We only won. I think he only won a couple of FA Cups with us, or one FA Cup with us, and that was it. But we got to finals in that time, and we didn't. I remember West Ham beat us in 1980, and Ipswich beat us in 78, and Alan Sunderland played in those games, those finals. And we won the one we did win in 79 against Manchester United. I believe he scored a winner in that game. Yeah, I believe he scored a winner for us when we beat United 3-2 at Wembley in 79 FA Cup. FA Cup final. So yes, but That's gone back into the history books. You know. But yeah, so Eze's created history. You know, he's done something that Ian Wright hasn't done, Thierry Henry hasn't done, Dennis Bergkamp hasn't done, uh, Robin van Persie hasn't done, and so many other legendary Arsenal strikers in the modern times haven't done. You know, because that's a record which is standing what? So that's 46 years old, 46-year history. You know, that's going on to 50 years. And so Eze done his celebration. I can't do it because I'm holding the phone with one of my hands. And yeah, and did the session, put into the sky, thanking God, and you know, giving thanks and doing that sign with his hand, the T sign, and let it all work out. Let it all work out. You see, I can't sing. I can't sing that well. I can. I can't sing that well at the moment. I can't sing that well, but I can rap. But I can't sing. I'm more of a rapper than a singer. Anyway, yeah. So everybody's happy, you know, that we won 4-1. We go 6 points ahead of. I think we're 6 points ahead of Chelsea at the top of the Premier League table, and we're about what? I think we're about 7 points ahead of City. Is it 7 points ahead of City? I think it's 7 points, isn't it? Yeah, because they lost their game, and I think we're about 11 points ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool down in about 11th place. Everton beat United 1-0 on Monday, so they go above Liverpool. Who would have thought that at this stage of the season, Everton will be ahead of Liverpool, and Liverpool will be outside of the top 10. But that's their problem. That's their problem. I'm thinking about Arsenal right now. I'm very happy that we won that game. I'm very happy that we're looking good. You know, we've not kept a clean sheet in 2 games, but that's not much. That's something. We're playing Bayern Munich tonight, which I'm going to come back again later and look at that game. We're going to do a preview for that game, and it's going to be a hard game, probably the hardest game we've had so far this season. Some people are even saying that Bayern Munich are the best team in the world at the moment, along with Arsenal. Some are saying us two are the two favourites for the Champions League, and us two are the two best teams in Europe. Some are saying Arsenal better than Bayern Munich. Some are saying Bayern Munich are better than Arsenal. Some are saying that they're equal, you know. But I don't know. We're going to see tonight. It's going to be at our place at the Emirates, so we've got home advantage. So let's see what happens. But I'm so happy for that win against Spurs. And mouth is a bit dry. I do apologise. I've been talking a lot, so my mouth is a bit dry. Yeah, so I'm just happy that we won that game, that North London derby, and we'll move onwards and upwards. And I mean, there's no negatives from the game. We never picked up any significant injuries or anything, no bookings or nothing, no suspension. So I'm so happy, so happy. But guys, you soak it in, you take care of yourselves. And another big game tonight. Imagine if we could beat Bayern Munich tonight and we go and beat Chelsea on Sunday. That one of the hardest weeks in our season. Spurs at home, Bayern Munich at home, Chelsea away. 3 good teams. You know, one North London derby, one big Giants clash in the Champions League, and one other London derby on Sunday. 3 good teams, and we beat them all. Anyway, let's see what we can come up with, and we just hope that we can at the end of the season we can see armpits. We're lifting maybe not 1 but 2 trophies, maybe even 3 trophies. Who knows? Guys, you look after. So don't forget to hit a like on the videos. Smash a like. If you can hype the videos as well, you could do. If you can hype the videos as well, I'll be very grateful for that. If you can subscribe to the channel, which a lot of you have been doing lately, our subscriptions just flown from there, from say here to here. So keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, keep leaving your comments down below. Thank you so much. And as I said, if you can hype the videos, hype the videos. If you can share the channel, share the channel. Whatever you can do, I'm ever so grateful. Look after yourselves and each other. One big love, yeah? Adios. Come on. Yeah.